Yo, 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 what's up, peeps? I know it's been a while since I made one of these videos, but because of how the games were going this morning, I figured I would hop on and make a video of this game before I went ahead and hopped on stream later. Alright, so these games are kind of gonna show how resilient Tron Walker's deck is now, and just overall how the changes I've made have actually been affecting the gameplay. I will go over the changes I've made later on in my stream. So if any of y'all hop on over to Twitch later on today, I will be able to see those changes that I have made. Let's see, where's my mouse at? Okay, make sure my mouse shows up. Alright, so my mouse is showing up now. Alright, let's get this game started. So, obviously starting out here, I don't know what my opponent's playing, they don't know what I'm playing. I know they had made a room saying tier decks please or whatever. And so I figured, you know what? Let me go ahead and test the waters with Tron Walker. See how my deck is doing against someone who's trying to play competitively. So starting out, mulligan that first hand. The reason why I decided to do the mulligan is I had a piece of Tron in my hand. I'm kind of learning to get around the serum powder addiction. And how I'm doing that is, if I have Tron lands in hand, I'm just going to go ahead and mulligan most of the time. But in this case, mulligan the first hand. Now the second hand, since I have the powder as well, I'm pretty sure I just end up using the powder and mulliganing my power plant away. So yeah, I put the power plant back in the deck. And actually I put the power plant on the bottom of the deck. And then I went ahead and drew another hand. Okay, so let's see. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm mulligan that hand as well. And obviously here I get natural Tron and I have a card in hand, so that's looking great. You saw me put the doubling season to the bottom. The reason for that is doubling season just doesn't really have a place if it's not late game, I should say. So here my opponent went ahead and destroyed my Tron land right off the bat. And Tron doing Tron things, went ahead and drew another one. I love to see it. So here I just keep going on. I'm trying not to let them know I have another power plant in hand though, because we all know what would happen in that case. It'd be the first thing destroyed. So just playing along here. Opponent obviously playing Jund, Blooming Marsh, and a Swamp so far. Then they went ahead and played a Dark Confidant. Now I added Warping Whale to my deck, and this instance it was just perfectly placed in my hand, so went ahead and used that, got rid of the Dark Confidant, because I figured my opponent didn't really have a lot going on, so let's try to get ahead. And judging from the fact they destroyed one of my lands using a Ghost Quarter, I figured getting rid of one of their lands would set them back so much more. So I tried to cast Karn Liberated there, and the opponent went ahead and scooped. Okay, that's not what I was trying to do. Alright, that's more like it. Alright, let me go ahead and load up this second game. Alright, here we go. Alright, so this is the second game. Let's see how we start out here. So something else I learned with Tron, if you keep 7 cards in hand and you're kinda close to Tron, it actually makes it to where you're almost super overpowered, because your playing threats just doesn't stop, and most decks have a large problem with that, even control decks. Okay, so let's see. Obviously I keep this hand. Jay's here. He's probably the only card that I don't see myself playing anytime soon, but knowing his combo with Doubling Season and the fact that I have Tron basically on turn 3, I was like, I'll go ahead and keep this hand. But this is with me knowing that my opponent can play discard. So, sure enough, discard came on turn 1. Hate to see it. But opponent's playing really good here, so not too surprised. So opponent played Inquisition, got rid of my 7 Scrying, so no longer on turn 3 Tron. But I do have a bunch of cantrips in hand, so I was playing, happily here at this point. Got a Cascading Cataracts. Yeah, not something I really wanted at this point. I would rather have Tron online. So my opponent used the Mishra's Bauble to target me to see what I would get next. They're just over there playing lands. And going heavy on the hand discarding, which just completely eats my deck up. So the fact that discard is what they're going for here, and I'm struggling to get Tron online, it's just harsh. And more discards, so even more things affecting my hand here. And from what you all can see here, the color requirement is definitely starting to stand out here. And at this point, Karn is the only thing that I might be able to get online, but sure enough, opponent takes that and slams down a Hex Drinker. So now, I do keep the Chromatic Star in play just because I'm trying to see if I draw into 7 Scrying or an Oath of Nissa. That's the goal right now. So, just keep playing along. And opponents plays a Fumigator Mage. And like you all know, if you play Tron, Fumigator Mages are one of your worst enemies, because you already automatically know one of your Tron lands is getting destroyed. And sure enough, another land gets destroyed. I unfortunately drew into a mine there. And the opponent coming heavy with the discard again, so completely just eating up all my setup as far as my deck is concerned here, because I can't get anything online. But, knowing that I play Tron Walkers, I'm not too surprised about people, playing a lot of hand discard or destroying lands, because that is how you play against Tron, and it's how you win games against me, so it is what it is. So opponents here went ahead and destroyed another land with the Ghost Quarter, and I was like, oh my goodness. At first I was going to tap the power plant to just use the Chromatic Star, just to use the extra mana or whatever. But then I realized if I kept the mana, I could potentially play Sam the Tested. So I decided to untap and just go get a basic. An opponent here went ahead and played Leon of Veil, so now I have to make choices of which card I want to get rid of most. And I was kind of hoping my opponent would not use a Liliana there, and they did not. But the Hex Drinker is a little bit out of reach for Sam of the Tested's 2 damage to kill it, so now I'm just looking at contingency plans. Hopefully I'll be able to, end up drawing into Tron and then making something happen. But I ended up drawing into an Oath of Nissa there, which I was super happy to see. And I ended up getting a land there because I wasn't going to get Tron online fast enough to stay alive anyways, because I'm at 10 life. Hex Drinker is about to be probably a 6/6 or something. So because that's the case, I went ahead and just got the land. So I got the Jace there. I guess one thing I could have done is I could have gotten Karn and then played Ensnaring Bridge, but I might have been dead anyways. Because if I had played Karn this turn, next turn my opponent could up the Hex Drinker more, swing for more damage. And knowing that it's Chun, they typically play Abrupt Decay. So I was just, trying to get whatever would buy myself more time here. So I thought at that point it would be to make an illusion creature, just so I could block. Or that I could force their Liliana to kill it. And then Liliana would be at 1, so I could use my Sam of the Tested to kill Liliana. And then hope that my opponent would go ahead and attack Jace Cunning Castaway here. But the opponent had all the answers. Abrupt Decay, like I said before, Fatal Push. Figured they had Fatal Push in hand because I don't play a lot of creatures, so it's just a dead card until I put something in play. And they still have the Liliana back there, so got rid of everything I did. Now I had to discard a card. Now, for me, it was kind of a hard choice because it was either choosing between Doubling Season or having mana for a Doubling Season or keeping Samuel Tested. Another thing is, let's see, that's 2, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 mana. See, what else could I have gotten with 6 mana? Okay, so it's 6 mana, but I have Cascading Cataracts in play. So I'm thinking what I was thinking is, since I have Cascading Cataracts in play, I could go ahead and cast pretty much any of my Planeswalkers that requires a bunch of different mana. Which would, put me in a pretty great position. Opponent kills Cutting Castaway here. And I go ahead and play a land. And I go Squirter once again. Like y'all know, I only run 2 basic forests here. So, I get my last basic. Opponent discards a card. Here I went ahead and casted the Warping Whale just to make a 1/1. That way I could potentially block my opponent's creature. But then I said to myself, if I don't block, let's see, I would have had 3, 6, 7 mana. But the issue is Karn Liberated will not be able to exile this creature. The only thing that I could get is Karn Great Creator and play an Ensnaring Bridge along with the Karn, which would take up all 7 mana, but that is a gamble by itself. And I end up drawing into a land there. So here, of course, opponent just pumps up Hex Drinker even more. And plays another Hex Drinker, so if I had played the Bridge wouldn't have been able to do it. Let's see, their opponent still doing Liliana things, end up drawing into a Blast Zone, and I'm like, yes, a Blast Zone. This can maybe potentially get me back to where I'm in a decent spot. Then opponent used the Liliana of the Veil. So, Liliana of the Veil Ultimate, playing Tron, you're getting wrecked with this. So I was like, let me just pop the Blast Zone, get rid of the Hex Drinkers, hopefully buy myself a few extra turns. Opponent goes ahead and separates the piles here. And I have to choose the pile I do not want. I know there's a lot of you all who hear me emphasize that understand what I'm saying when I say the pile I do not want, because on many of occasions I'm sure we've all chosen the wrong pile, so it is what it is. So here I went ahead and chose the pile. Of course I choose the pile with 4 lands because 4 lands is better than 3, especially if you can't get Tron online. And the fact that I have green mana in this hand. And then opponent plays an Abrupt Decay. Assassin's Trophy. And I'm already out of basics, so it's almost like it's Jun Ponza. So I'm going to cast a 7 Scrying here, just going up on lands. I chose the Mine because I only had 1 Mine left in my deck, so the odds of drawing into other lands was greater. And then my opponent plays another Ghost Quarter, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't get anything going on here. And then opponent attacks with the, Hissing Quagmire. And now I draw into Karn. Would be great if I could buy myself 1 more turn, but I cannot. So just went ahead and conceded there. The reason why I conceded is opponent was playing extremely well. So because they were playing that well, I'm not going to expect them to miss an attack. And even if they did miss an attack, it wouldn't be... how do I put it? In my eyes, it wouldn't be a real win. It would be kind of... winning on an opponent's mistake, if that makes sense. And since, I was in the practice lobby here, if fine with just going ahead and conceding there. I really wanted to play the next game, so... Alright, so this is the third game. So, starting out... I went ahead and mulliganed there. Because I had Tron lands in hand, I'm assuming. I kind of clicked ahead too fast there, but that's typically one of the only reasons why I'm mulligan a first draw hand that has Serum Powder in it. So I'm pretty sure that's the case. So I went ahead and mulliganed, and look at this. I got Natural Tron, Warping Whale, Serum Powder. Pretty sure I'm gonna put the Serum Powder back here because I don't need to fuel my addiction anymore because everything is going right. Start out by playing the mine, and opponent just right off the bat. Ghost Quarter and Mishra's Bauble, which means that they get to set up my deck to see if I want the next card that I get. And if they think I want it, then they're just going to go ahead and destroy one of the lands. So opponent went ahead here and saw that I was going to get a tower. And I went ahead and played the tower. That way, you know, kind of throw my opponent off. And if they wanted to destroy land, maybe the tower is what they go for. So here I was kind of surprised they did not go ahead and just destroy the land right off the bat. And then sure enough, they followed up with destroying the land. I was like, oh, well, I guess. But then I was like, you know what? I got this Warping Whale in my hand, courtesy of From the Crypt, and the rest of the people at the Devo Nation. That's a Discord group that I'm in if any of y'all want to go check that out. Like, if you play Tron, I highly recommend you go check it out because there are some very experienced Tron players in there. Like, pretty much any kind of Tron you can think of, like blue, green, I mean, just any kind of crazy combination with Tron. You'll have people there that will be able to help out and give some excellent advice. So, Warping Whale, coming from the Crypt of the Devo Nation. He also streams on Twitch and has a YouTube channel as well. So if you like Eldrazi Tron stuff, I recommend, you know, dropping him a follow or checking out some of his videos. Alright, let's keep going here. Warping Whale got rid of the Hex Drinker. You know, I feel like I'm sitting in a decent position here. Got my last basic land. Went ahead and played the Power Plant. Just trying to keep my opponent from knowing that I have Tron. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, he used a Ghost Quarter. There's no way he has a... Oh, and what do you know? Opponent again with the Ghost Quarter. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, did he just naturally draw all 4 Ghost Quarters or what? So, then I go ahead and play a Tower. And I go ahead and play an Oath of Nissa. This here, I'm just hoping to get a mine so I can get Tron online. And I had to choose between Walking Ballista and a Tower. And I chose a Tower just because my opponent's destroying lands so aggressively. I just need to get mana on the board so I can maybe cast Karn or Doubling Season. So, pass to the opponent's turn, and what do you know? The 3rd Ghost Quarter comes out. Like, oh my goodness, man. Like, I think at this point in time I commented saying, dang, because it's just like, there's no break. There's literally no break. Opponent drops a big boy Goldfire here. And, you know, knowing that Goif is going to get bigger no matter what. Like, I gotta find something to do here. Now I go ahead and play a land. Now I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have 5 mana on board. Opponent's probably going to destroy a land, so I'll be going down to 3 mana. So I might use the Warping Whale to actually make a 1/1 token and not block the Goif with it. Instead, I'll use it as mana next turn. That way I have enough mana to cast Doubling Season. So, went ahead and just casted Kind Great Creator, I guess. I guess I casted Kind Great Creator because I wanted to buy myself some time. And I figured that Big Boy Goif out here would be swinging at Karn. Especially knowing that it's going to make Karn get bigger. So I went ahead and got a card out of my hand. Let's see if I can figure out what I got. I am thinking I got an ensnaring bridge because I realized I can dump all the cards out my hand. And sure enough, so I got an ensnaring bridge there. Opponent probably killing card and then also hitting me with some hand disruption maybe. And then look at this. My opponent plays another Ghost Warder. They got all 4 Ghost Warders in the game. On the top 13 cards of their deck, they got all 4 Ghost Warders. So they might have just kept a hand with just Ghost Warders. But it's an effective way to play against Tron, so I cannot say I'm surprised. Opponent played the Dark Confidant there. Destroy one of my lands again, unfortunately. And since I already have both my basics. My opponent probably already figured out though that I had my basic in hand because I didn't play it. From there I realized if I played the bridge could get easily destroyed. Anyway, so I needed to do something else. But the bridge was also a good distraction because I could have potentially played Doubling Season and then Warping Whale. That way, you know, Karn would have so many counters on him, that way he will not die in just one swing from creatures. But that's also with me knowing that my opponent can destroy and Ensnaring Bridge easily if they get mana on board. Or mana online, because they keep destroying all my mana. Okay, so Dark Confidant swings. Save myself from a big boy Goyf out here. Rolling boy right there. And end up drawing into Jace Cunning Castaway, and I thought to myself, I probably should just play Doubling Season first, which means that I have to play a Warping Whale. Because on my sideboard there was just no options of things that could get me ahead in the game, except for maybe Trinisphere. But Trinisphere I could not cast until next turn. If I put it in hand, it would enable Goyf to attack. Also, I can cast the Warping Whale on my opponent's turn, right before the attack phase. So because I can do it before the attack phase, I figured I'll let him think that he can attack with Goyf, and then last minute, I'll just go ahead and cast it. That way I catch him off guard, you know, maybe save myself some life. Wait until beginning of combat, and the Warping Whale. Went ahead and played the Eldrazi there. And of course I am not going to block just because I want to save it for the extra mana for Doubling Season. So I went ahead and saved it there for Doubling Season, and I ended up drawing into a land anyways. So went ahead and casted Doubling Season here. And opponent ended up drawing into another Goyf and an Overgrowth Tomb, so opponent can get a lot of things online here. Opponent chooses to destroy my Ensnaring Bridge here. So I was hoping that it would choose Ensnaring Bridge, that way they could attack. But at the same time, realizing how my opponent's been playing all the games so far, I was thinking they would realize Doubling Season and Oath are out in the battlefield. But I guess since they did not see all the Planeswalkers in my deck, or maybe paying too much attention to Jace because they figured kill Oath, no Jace, doesn't make a difference. So maybe because that's what my opponent was thinking, they might have had, you know, go ahead and decided that Oath was just not relevant. They wanted to swing him for more damage. So opponent destroyed my bridge and destroyed my power plant. Now I'm down to 3 lands again. I mean 4 lands. Then opponent swings with everything. Of course I'm gonna block the big boy Goyf out there, just so I could save, you know, an additional 4 life. Now I go ahead and cast Jace Cunning Castaway. Now, with me casting Jace Cunning Castaway in Doubling Season, I literally go infinite with it if I want to. I guess it's not infinite, it's more like a controlled number of Jaces. So of course at this point in time I just start doing crazy things with Jace. I start multiplying him a lot of times. And then I just start making a bunch of tokens. And the things I have to be wary of at this point in time is I think Maelstrom Pulse, because it literally destroys all my tokens. Actually, now that I think about it, Maelstrom Pulse actually doesn't work. Because with Maelstrom Pulse, it has to destroy a target, and then it destroys all targets with the same name as that one. But to make sure I'm saying the right card, I'm gonna look it up right quick. Okay, Maelstrom Pulse, Wizards of the Coast. Yep, the card is Maelstrom Pulse. So destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. So that is what I was kind of afraid of here. But now that I think about it again, these tokens basically self-destruct if they get targeted. So because they self-destruct, it would actually make it to where it never gets destroyed. That way it saves all my other tokens. But it was just something I was, a little bit weary of. And in the heat of the moment, because the game was so intense, I figured if my opponent had that, they could potentially win. But now thinking about it, because I'm just going over the game, I realized that my opponent had no outs here. At least no outs that I can think of. So yeah, opponents saw the crazy amounts of illusions, and they went ahead and conceded. But yeah, I can successfully say another person memed by the Jace doubling season combo. Those are some extremely good games. I hope I never play any more like it. After all, I do like to have Tron online, even if it's on like turn 9 or 10. But yeah, that was an extremely good game, and I figured I would go ahead and upload this video. That way you all could enjoy it. If you all saw that I made any plays wrong there, just let me know. If not, I'd appreciate if y'all leave a like or a comment. And thank you all for following my channel. I know recently I got, affiliate on Twitch. So if you want to go ahead and show your support, hop over to my Twitch channel, drop me a follow. And if you really like the content that you see over there, I'd appreciate if you all subscribe to my channel. But I appreciate the support that you all have given me so far. Starting out with this deck, being something that wasn't even competitive at all, and now it's at the point to where I can play pretty competitively, and I have like an 81% win rate. That's also pointing out the fact that I am not going against Storm. Storm is one deck that I haven't gone against since I've made these changes, along with the new Valky and Tybalt's Trickery. I think I did go against Valky, but I have not gone against Tybalt's Trickery yet. When I went against the Valky deck, it was an extremely good game. It made me think to myself, yep, this is a Planeswalker I want to add to my deck. Just because of the interaction with being able to make things, artifacts, exiling them, and then casting them with mana as if it was mana of any color. Like, that's a pretty sweet interaction, but I think the card is like $60 right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait to see what gets banned, because I think it's time for Wizards of the Coast to clean up their modern format a little bit. I guess it might not even be just modern format right now. It might be every format, because turn 1 or turn 2 kill is probably good in every format. So I'm hoping Wizards of the Coast cleans up their game a little bit, and with them cleaning those cards up that should be out of modern, I am hoping that it makes this deck just a little bit better. So cards I added: Deafening Silence for Tybalt's Trickery and Valky / Cascade style decks out there. And I added in Veil of Summer. Once again, from These are recommendations from the Devo Nation. Mike Devo also streams on Twitch. And he recently made a return to Magic the Gathering. No, extremely great Magic the Gathering player. So if you all want to go ahead and show your support to the Devo Nation, I'm going to leave the Discord down in the chat. I said chat, I'm so used to being on Twitch. Down in the comments description. There we go. That's the right word. I'm going to leave the Discord down in the description for any of you all that want to join me in the Devo Nation. If you all have any advice on what I should do with the deck or any changes that you think I should make, I would appreciate you all letting me know those. And I will definitely be streaming today with this deck at some point in time. So if you all want to see that content live, me playing in a Modern League, just hop over to Twitch, leave me a follow, that way you can be notified when it starts. And I will catch you all peeps next time. By the way, I want to give a shout out to my man Tron MTGO on Twitch. He's an extremely great Tron player. He normally plays Blue Tron, but like me, recently he has been trying to make a Urion style Tron deck. So an 80 card Tron deck. I mean, he's an extremely great player, and he motivated me to make some additional changes with my deck. I see my camera is hiding his camera. So yeah, that's my man Tron MTG right there. I'd appreciate it if you all went ahead and dropped him a follow. Say you came from the Tron Walkers Nation. Also, here's my man from the crypt out there showing support as usual. So yeah, I'd appreciate it if y'all left my man Tron MTG here a follow. I will also put that link to his Twitch and the description for this video. Alright, now I think it's time for me to go ahead and wrap this up. Hope you all enjoyed the content. And later, peeps.